So this is where we left off the other day. We've got a ball bouncing around inside the screen. Looks okay, I guess, but it's kind of boring. It's just a blue ball bouncing back and forth. So what if we wanted something that's a little bit more complex? Like let's say, for example, a car or a spaceship that we wanted to bounce around inside the screen. So that's what we're going to work on today. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to plan out the shape that I want to draw so that I can bounce it around the screen. So I'm going to open up Paint, just Microsoft Paint, and up at the top there's a tab that says View, and I'm going to click on Grid Line. You can click on Rulers too if you want, but I'm just going to click on Grid. So I want to see these grid lines now. Now I need to plan out my car, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a couple of lines. So I'm going to make these lines a little bit thicker, and these lines are just going to kind of be the axes. Now if I hold down Shift, you can see the line is going to snap to straight up and down and left and right. So we'll go like that, we'll go like that. There, now I've got a grid with some axes just as a reference point. So how do I want my car to look? Well, it's really up to you. You can draw whatever shape you want, but I'm going to just start drawing a car, and I'll tell you what to do next after that. So here's the car that I've got on a new sketch. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in enough so that I don't get these grid lines to reformat back into little ones. See, if I zoom in a little bit further, they're really small. So just enough so that I can see it fairly easily and count these boxes pretty good. So now what I want to do next is I need to pick a reference point, and that's why I kind of picked this area right here, this spot right in this area. And what I'm going to do is say that this is going to be my x comma y, this spot right here. So this is x, y. This is my reference point for my whole car. Now I can see that about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, roughly 22. This is 22 over from x comma y. So this point is going to be x plus 22. So x plus 22 over, and it's the same height, y. Now that's this coordinate right here. Now this corner right here, we'll say is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up from there. So this point will be x plus 22, y plus 5, or sorry, not y plus 5, y minus 5, because remember in Python, up is minus in the y's. And I think next I'll just go straight over here to this point. And so where is this point? Well, this is roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. And then if this is 5 up, then that would be about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 up. So this point would be x plus, what did I say, 6? And then we're 11 up, y minus 11. Well, that's this point right here. And we can go around and do that with all of the rest of those points. Now where are these two wheels? Well, I could say that this wheel is roughly centered maybe right here. And so if this is 22 over, this would be about 14 over. So I'll just put a 14 over there. And how wide is this wheel? What's the radius? 1, 2, 3, let's say it's roughly 4 wide. So I'll just put a 4 there to help me remember. This wheel, we want them probably the same size. So this one can be 4, a radius of 4. And where is it centered? Well, we're going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, roughly 12 back. 12 back from this origin point at the same height. Same thing with this box. So now we can start to draw this car. Now I'm going to just use a filled in polygon for the shape of the car, and then I'll draw my wheels over top. So I'll bring up my code again. So I'm going to need a polygon now. Pygame.draw.polygon, and I'm going to draw it on my window. And what color do I want my car? Well, let's just make it green for now, I guess. Actually, let's make it red. Do we have a red? We don't even have a red. Let's make red. So now we've got a red. So we're going to draw it in our window. Oh, I have a typo. We're going to make our car red. Now what is the list of points that we want? Well, the first point that I could draw from is we could draw from right here. But actually, I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to go up and around till I get to here, and then it will reconnect back over to here. So x plus 22 and y. So in other words, draw the first point 22 to the right of the center of my car. Then up here, x plus 22 and y plus 5. So that's the next point. And then after that, I'm just going to keep working my way around until I get all of these points on here. So I've got my point list right here where this is x, y, and I'm starting at x plus 22 comma y. So I'm right here at the start. And then after that, I go x plus 22, y minus 5, then x plus 6, y minus 11, so 6 over 11 up, and then x minus 6, so 6 left 11 up, x minus 22, so 22 over here, and then y minus 5, so 5 up, and then x minus 22, y, which is this bottom left corner, and then I'm just setting the width to be 4, so that when I run this, we've got this shape. Now I'm going to get rid of this blue circle for a moment. Now this is not the best drawing of a car I've ever done, obviously, but it's a start. So here I've got this polygon that's moving back and forth, right? Now what I want to do is I want to add wheels to my polygon, but where do I want to draw the wheels? Well, I want to draw them a little bit before and a little bit after my x comma y. So pygame.draw.circle, I want to draw it in the window, and I'm going to draw my wheels white. And where do I want my wheel? Well, I don't want it at x comma y, because that would mean that the wheel is drawn where the center right here. I'm going to draw it at 14 over and none of. So x plus 14 comma y, and I want it to have a width or a radius of 4, and I want it to be filled in. Now I'm going to draw the exact same thing, so I'm just going to copy and paste this, except instead of 14 forward, I'm going to draw it 12 back. So 12 to the left, and I'm also going to give it a radius of 4 at the same height and filled in as well. So now when I run it, I've got this funny looking car. So now just by looking at that, I kind of don't like where the wheels are. They look like they're up inside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the wheels a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make them a radius of 6 instead of 4 for one. And that looks a bit better. And it probably isn't helping that my car frame is so thick but not filled in. So if I were to change this to a 0 so that it's filled in, yeah, that looks okay, I guess. Now the wheels look pretty big. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So I've got this car, and the car is based on this point x comma y. Now when I hit the right side of the window, my car is turning around and going back the other way. So I want to say when I hit the right hand side, but 22 before the right hand side. So I could put a 22 there because this car is 22 ahead of x, right? And to the left, because if you look at my points, it's only, well, it's also 22. So we want that one to be 22 as well. And that should bounce a little bit better. And the car should bounce back and forth quite nicely now. And it wasn't bad before either. There we go. Got this car that's bouncing back and forth. And of course you can add in a window if you want. I've got a little bit of a window there. Let's make it a little bit longer. That's a bit better. So there's our car, and it's going back and forth. And there's a, I mean, it's a little bit of an art, right? You gotta kind of play around with it a little bit till you get the picture you want. So now that I've got this thing bouncing back and forth, what I need to do is also check the up and down. So when the y is greater than y height minus 22, well, this one should have been changed to a 22. Now, the y value is right here, and my wheels only have a radius of 6. So I don't really want to change this at when y is greater than the y height minus 22. I want it to be 6, so that when the bottom of the wheels touch the bottom of the screen, it bounces back up. And same thing here, this is only 11, the top of the car is 11 above the center point. So I need to change this to an 11, and now I can add in a y speed. So let's say my y speed is 3, and now when I run it, car should bounce. Yeah. So now I've got a car driving around the screen, and it's all based on that x comma y position. Now this car is really small. I really should have drawn a much bigger car, but I hope you get the rough idea that we're really just moving one point around the screen, and we're drawing all of our shapes based off of that one point. So we're only moving one point, but we're drawing all of these shapes, and all of these shapes put together based off of that one point is making an image that we can bounce around the screen.